Good evening, humans. TyrannosaurusMoth here, and tonight we're taking a look at the Masters of the Universe Origins Rattlor figure from Mattel. The original Rattlor figure was an absolutely pivotal figure in my personal collecting journey, and this just makes things feel like they've come full circle. So let's talk about it. Let's do this. Aesthetically speaking, this is pretty much the perfect update to the original figure, and that is kind of the idea of the Origins line. It's taking those original sculpts and ideas and just kind of bringing them into the modern era, which is better articulation, kind of sacrificing the action features in most cases. There's a couple that they're still there. But yeah, it just looks great. And I'm going to bring out the original to compare. And as you can see, just basically cleaned up the sculpt so that the head is definitely more defined. You get a little more neck space, but that's because of the articulation. Colors are definitely different. Obviously, this one is faded. This is not my original one. I rebought this a couple of years ago, just because my original collection was gone. But there was definitely a darker red in the original, and they brightened that up, which I do like. Some might find issue with that, but we get down to the belt, and the belt is a separate piece now with some again cleaner sculpt. Slightly brighter yellow than the kind of mustard yellow we get on the original. And as you can see, some of the sculpt is going to look different at the legs just because of, once again, modern articulation and all that. Come to the back, and as you can see, same cut for the tail and all of that. Same kind of grade. Actually, it's a little bit more of a fade, though the yellow also comes higher up on the original, where this one, it just kind of is done a little bit lower. But other than that, pretty much perfect. I could not ask for more. So that's aesthetics. Very straightforward when it comes to accessories, and that's because we're getting more or less what we got with the original. So of course we get his staff, which came with all the different snake men. I think it's pretty much the same sculpt. Unfortunately, I do not have the staff with the original one that I have here, just because the one I bought didn't have it. So unfortunately, I cannot compare those, so I'm sorry for that. But we got some nice detail on the top of the snake with the design. We got the rattle, and yeah, it's really cool looking piece overall. And then we get the neck piece because we don't have the action feature in there, but we do get this piece to kind of replicate that. And actually, my original one here is also another one of the yellow neck versions. And I think the original one I personally owned was actually one of the red neck versions, and I probably want to get track one of those down eventually. But for now, this is accurate. I think this was the main one that was out there, was the yellow neck version. As you can see, the sculpt is in there with the front with the straight lines and then the scales on the back. Then finally, we get a comic, and it's very short. There's no words except for sound effects. And and then we get to see the wave on the back. So that's accessories. When it comes to articulation and action features, we actually get a lot more than I was expecting, and that is always a pleasant surprise. So we're actually going to start off with the action feature, and we do get the body filled with the beads. So you can hear that there. Rattle's a little bit clearer than it was with the older one. Bring that back in. It's a little more of a high pitch. Sounds like the beads in there might be a little smaller, a little bit bigger here. So that's an interesting difference, definitely of note. Then we get into articulation. So head, we are in a ball joint. It's a dumbbell. So we're actually getting a really nice amount of up, not really any down, kind of just more forward. And then some very nice tilt. So we get some nice rotation there. Our arms are on hinge and swivel. So we're coming down to here. We are single jointed elbows. So we're getting not quite to 90, but we do get some rotation there. And then we get hinge and swivel at the wrists, all horizontal. And then we come down to the waist. We do have a swivel, so we can go like that. Come down to the hips, full splits, totally beautiful. We don't really get any thigh rotation there, unfortunately, but we do get some very nice range in the knee. So hitting just about 90, we also get rotation there. Then we even get a shin cut, which I was not expecting in the slightest. So that's awesome. And actually something I'll get to in a minute about that. And then we get really nice point, fantastic forward, and we even get some rucker if I can get it to work here. So you can see that. And finally, the point that I was going to point out with the shins here is a lot of the parts are removable, and you can you know, mix and match with other figures, which I think was one of the best ideas. I wish more lines did that. So yeah, just fantastic articulation. Getting into size comparisons, here he is with some other Motu lines, with some Hasbro and Mattel, with some imports, with some monsters. Finally, with an articulated Icons Oni and yours truly in human form as a Valorverse Action Force figure. So my final thoughts on the Motu Origins Rattlor figure from Mattel is that, once again, pretty much a near perfect update of the original figure, which holds a very special place for me because that original Rattlor figure was the first figure I vividly remember actually picking out consciously in a store. Like I remember being in the toy aisle with my father and seeing, you know, getting the decision between, okay, you can have a Ninja Turtle or you can have, you know, one of the He-Man figures. And I saw Rattlor and just like, there was not even a question in my mind. So I got that. And yeah, so to have this updated is definitely very special to me. And the articulation is super smooth. The aesthetics are perfect. Yeah, just excellent. The only thing I think I could possibly ask for more with this is I just wish it came with a extra set of hands. So basically 2 grips and 2 open hands. I think that would make it 100% perfect and put over the top. But as it is, it's definitely worth getting, especially if you have nostalgia for the original line, if you are a fan of the Snake Men as I am, and or if you're just collecting the Origins line, absolutely pick this up. And this is showing up in various online retailers and probably hit shelves eventually, but as of right now, I think it's only online. So I will be including links in the description below to where you can pick up yours if you are so interested. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this review informative and somewhat entertaining. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, all that other fun stuff. Everything helps, especially because I'm definitely trying to drive towards 1,000 subs and I've got a bit to go. So, you know, everything helps. So thank you so much for watching and I hope you take care of yourself, take care of those around you, and most importantly, stay weird, simians.